Hi, it's John from the Nail School here. I'd just like to take you through the products that we need to use when we're doing acrylic or gel nails. I often get calls from students asking me, what products do we use? Well, I will cover some of those during this little session. So if we start at the beginning, obviously we need a nice nail table to work on or some kind of a surface, and we need to make sure that it's clean and it's tidy and that we've got all our products to hand so that we haven't got to keep getting up and down when our customer is sitting there. If you have an armrest, it needs to be removable so that it can be washed and sanitized. You need a clean towel for every new client. So the first thing we're going to look at is our nail spray. Now obviously this is a sanitizing and dehydrating spray. We're going to use this on our hands, our clients' hands, and also on any files. And even though your file may have been in your UV cabinet to sterilize it, it's always a good idea just to spray the file in front of your clients. That way they know that you're going to be clean. You can also use it on your table and other areas that you need to sanitize. So obviously we need files. Now this is a 100-180 grit file, and don't forget to prepare your file with another file before you use it by going over the edges in this way to take off this very sharp edge that you get on a brand new file. That way it will reduce the risk of you cutting your client with a file. We've got a glass file. Now we use this for filing underneath the nail plates after we've shortened them to length at an angle to seal the three layers together so we don't get that flaking or delamination at the end of the free edge. So that's a glass file. You can also use a crystal file as well. We've got a block, white block. Of course this is about 240 grit, and we would be using this when we're working on the nails at various stages during our procedure. You might have a buffer like this one, which we can put a natural finish on the acrylic nails at the end of the process after smoothing. This has got the blue side, which is slightly abrasive, and you've got the white side, which gives you that very nice polish at the end. Other things that come in your kind of like disposables, we've got cotton buds, that we use those for all sorts of things during our nail application. We've got our lint-free wipes. Again, we will be using those at various stages during the process. Orange sticks, again, very useful. I believe originally they were made of orange wood, that's why they're called orange sticks. And again, we'd be using these maybe to tidy up the nails when we're doing acrylics and so on, gels. Included in your disposables, of course, is your paper towel. We get this one, which is sort of like just wide enough to put over our towel that we put down for our clients. You might need some foil. This is hairdressing foil because it's the right width, and we just tear off a strip like this. We put our lint pad soaked in acetone on top of our nail, and then we just do a wrap over the nail to soak off gel polish, or glitter for that matter. It's good for getting rid of glitter as well. Then after about 10 minutes we just roll it like this, pull off, hopefully the polish will have come away. We also need various tools and implements, and we would keep these in our barbicide. You would dilute your barbicide down to the manufacturer's instructions, change it every day, and just keep your tools and implements in your barbicide to sanitize them. You'd have cuticle pushers in here, your nail, cuticle nippers, cuticle knife, and anything else that you want to keep in there that's you need to sanitize. Now make sure that you buy good quality alloys, because if you don't, what happens is that they go rusty in the liquid. So only buy good quality implements. We have a dusting brush here. This one was made by NSI. It's completely washable and sanitizable, and you can use it as a dusting brush as you're working through your process. These brushes here are not easily sanitized, and I wouldn't recommend them for using them on the nails between clients. But what they're good for is for dusting off your table to keep it nice and dust free. You obviously need glues. Now this one here is a brush on glue, so you just brush the glue onto the inside well of the tip. You've got drip on glues where you squeeze it and onto the inside of the tip, and you've got, so there's your glues. All glues are basically the same, there's no real difference between them, so you could buy any make of glue. You've got your nail primer. Now primers are non-acid these days, but if you've got a client whose nails are lifting all the time, then you might decide to use an acid primer, but only use it very carefully and don't get it onto the skin. But generally speaking, you would just use a non-acid primer. You've also got nail dehydrator solution, if you want to use that. You'd put this onto the nail plate after you've done your nail plate preparation, and this would just take any moisture out of the nail plate and help it be more secure when you put on the product. Line out, that is another good product to have, and this is when you're doing the infills and you get that sort of a line that sometimes you can't quite get rid of. Just put a bit of line out across the line and the line disappears. Probably why it's called line out. I like to use a non-sticky top coat. This is a UV top coat, but when it comes out of the lamp, you don't have to wipe off a sticky layer and you get that really high gloss at the end. Cuticle oil, of course you're going to need that, and when you're applying alcohols to the fingers and the nails, what happens, the skin all around the edge of the nail plate gets dried up, and so you need to just sort of re-moisturize that area, and you would just put the cuticle oil all around the edge. But when you do actually put it around the edge, try not to massage it in over the top of the nail that you've just top coated. I prefer just to pull it away from the nail plate so you leave the nail plate nice and shiny. You may see sometime on a list, supplier's list, a Dappen Dish. Then say, what is a Dappen Dish? Well, that is a Dappen Dish. And all it's there for, some people put the monomer in there, and they might have one with powder in, one with monomer in, but also you can use it to soak off a tip that you may have been put on crooked, or maybe there's air bubbles under it, and you can just cut it short, put it in here with some pure acetone while you're doing the other hand, and leave it for about 5 to 10 minutes, and just keep wiping it, and eventually the tip will be removed, and then you can clean up the nail plate and apply a new tip. So that's what we use Dappen Dishes for. You're also going to need acetone and acetone free. Pure acetone we use for soaking off acrylic nails or gel polish as well. But you must make sure that you only use this on nails that don't have extensions on. So if you're going to remove a gel polish off a set of extensions, there's only one way to remove it, and that's to file it off. Don't use acetone, or you might damage the extension. Not acetone free or non-acetone was in fact brought out for that very purpose, to remove polish off, that's normal polish, off extensions. The next thing we're going to talk about is our monomers, or acrylic liquids. There are two types of acrylic liquid, MMA and EMA. Generally in the industry today, we just stick with EMA. In America, MMA is banned, but you can use it over here, but generally speaking, for safety's sake, we just stick to EMA monomer. There are many types of acrylic powder. I tend to just favour a bog standard clear powder. You can get it in pink as well, but it does tend to come out clear when it goes on the nail. But you can also buy a powder that is colour pink, and you'd use that for reverse application, extending the nail plates and or the nail beds to give a false look or a longer look to the nail bed. Because with pink cover powder, you can't see through it, so it hides all sorts of maybe problems that are on the nails. But generally speaking, I just use a clear powder. Now, when we're talking about tips, there are various types of tip. You've got your white tips, which give you that French look. But what you must remember with these tips is not to blend in that smile line. Otherwise, you will lose the effect of a white tip. You've got the Edge Active. These are brilliant for acrylic nails. They've got a small well right here, and you're less likely to get any air bubbles under this type of tip. But you do need to be careful when you're blending them in, because there's only a small area of tip to blend in, and over blending can cause them just to drop off. You've got the Edge Ultra. These are with a bigger well, quite a deep, big well on these, and I like these for gel nails. Well, you can use these for gel nails, but these are better for gel nails. There's more of the well onto the nail plate. Acrylic, you see, is strong enough to hold on a tip without any, the acrylic is strong enough to hold the shape without having a tip there at all, because you can do sculpted nails, and the acrylic is fine. But generally speaking, if you're doing tip and overlay, I would use the Edge Active for acrylics. Now, you can buy lots of cheap tips on the internet, and I would suggest that you don't. Those boxes I showed you about between £15 and £20 a box, but I know you can, off the internet, you could buy cheap tips at about £5 a box. But I've found from experience that they are not made from ABS plastic, and they are very difficult when you come to blend them in. So I suggest you leave them alone. But it's your choice. Now, obviously, to do acrylics, you're going to need acrylic brushes. I always have brushes that have a flat profile. In other words, the ferrule here is not round, it's been flattened. I prefer that, and you get this sort of a shape across the top, which isn't pointed, it's just flat. This one here is a size 12, and this one here is a size 10. Now, it is difficult to buy a size 12 these days, but you will get them from JK Nails Birmingham. But generally speaking, in wholesalers and warehouses and the internet, you can normally only buy a size up to a size 10. I use a 12 nearly all the time, but I would use a size 10 if I was doing a reverse application or some delicate work, sculpting work on the nail. I'd use a size 10 or sometimes even smaller. But my favourite is a size 12. If you're going to be using an electric file, make sure that you get a good quality one. This is the UP200, and these are around about £300. But obviously you can buy cheaper ones off the internet. The quality in any electric file is always in the handset. So you may see items that look like this, but the handset won't be like this one. This handset on its own would cost you around about £200. This is what gives you the very smooth use when you are using it, is the handset. Now, when you use this bit that's on here at the moment is a fine sanding band, and it's for using on the natural nail, is one of the reasons for using it. But when it's switched on, it must not be set at number 6. You need to take it right down to number 1. When it's on number 1, it's now running very, very slow and is safe to use on the natural nail. I would suggest that you do a training course before you use an electric file, because if you want to cover it on your insurance, you need to know how to use it safely. You've also got the metal bits. These are used for, say, removing shellac off extensions or gel polish off extensions, and you'd also use it to shape the acrylic. Gel nails generally, say gel extensions, you don't need an electric file. You can just it files very easily, so it's easy to do. And to be honest, you don't need an electric file to do acrylics either, because if you get that acrylic on nice and smooth, then you don't need an electric file. You can work just as good with a hand file. The tools and implements that we've just described are common both to gel nails as well as acrylic nails. So what do we need to do gel extensions? Well, obviously we need a gel. Now this gel is from Palms Extra, and it's a super thick UV gel. Now I like the super thick gel because in the summer it's not too runny, and in the winter, if we just want to make it a little bit more fluid, we just make sure that it's at room temperature, or you can pop it on top of a radiator for a couple of minutes and you'll find that it will be just right to use. Okay, it just doesn't run everywhere like some gels. Now the other thing as well is that this gel, it's got like a bit of a pinky colour, but it's not actually pink when it goes out onto the nail. It's also a one component gel. What does that mean? Well, some gel makes, you'll see, a base gel, a structure gel or middle gel, and a top gel. You don't need those, you just need one good gel. And this gel from palmsextra.com is, I think, the best gel. I've been using it now for years and years and years, and I can't just get away from it. It's such a good gel. You're going to need a gel brush. There's two kinds of gel brushes. You've got the one with a square, flat, chisel type end, and you've also got one with which is like, it's basically a very narrow acrylic brush, actually, that I prefer. I like to use this, I just like it the way it works better than these. But you know, most people kind of use the flat chisel end brush. Now when you clean out your brush at the end, you're not going to be able to remove all of the gel, because you just wipe it over with a lint-free pad with some gel wipe on it, and then you must make sure you store these in a darkened place. As well as all your gels. Keep all your gels, gel polishes in a darkened place or away from direct light, because the direct light can set your gels, because gels set in UV light, and if you're working by a window, then the UV light coming from the sky or the sunshine coming through will set your gels quite rapidly, even as you're using them. So you need to be just aware of that. So just keep them in the dark. To cure your gels, you're going to need a UV light. Now, this particular one is a 36 watt lamp. It's got 4 9-watt tubes in it, so they reach all the way around the hand. But if you are going to do your whole hand in a lamp like this, make sure that you hold the thumb up so it catches the light. Otherwise, do 4 fingers and then thumb separate. This one, particular one, has a 90 seconds and a 2-minute timer on it. So you can use either, or you can set it in the middle so there's no timer at all, and it will just stay on for as long as you need it to be on. Generally speaking, you can't overcook gels, but you can undercure them and then they won't be set completely all the way through. Now, this kind of lamp, which is a UV light, is not the same as an LED light. An LED light cures gel polishes in between 30 and 60 seconds, but it won't cure extension gels. So, I always think it's better just to get one of these. These are about £35, and an LED light is going to cost you a lot more than that. So just go for this one, I would, but it's up to you. If all you're doing is gel polish, then go for the other one. But you need one of these. This one's got a pull-out base so that you can put it on the floor over the foot, so you can do the toes as well. When gel nails have been cured with the final top coat, or the final clear coat of the gel, when it comes out of the lamp, it'll still be sticky. So you need to remove the sticky layer with some gel wipe on a pad to remove the sticky layer off the nails. And we call that the dispersion layer. So that's all your products, implements, accessories that you need to do acrylic and gel nails. I don't think I've left anything out, but if I had, I will leave us a little note on the screen. So I hope you found that useful, and I'll just say bye-bye. This is John from thenailschool.co.uk, and don't forget we run courses every day of the week. All our courses are accredited by ABT, so you'll be able to get insurance quite easily from them. And I'll see you again sometime. Bye.